what is up? It's your girl Grace Torie, and I am back with a whole new podcast episode. I am your host, and you are listening to That Girl, the podcast, where we help you navigate your 20s and build a community of women who are all striving to become our own version of that girl. I feel like that almost sounded a little automated, but you know, we're gonna roll with it. Happy Sunday. I hope that everyone has had a great week and you are getting some rest or having a fun day before the week ahead. For today's episode, I am so excited. So, a little backstory. I am in a Facebook group that's all like women between their 20s and 30s, so similar demographic. And it's for another podcast, but we post like just silly, goofy things. I feel like it's very open in there. And a while back, I posted a thing where something happened that shouldn't have been embarrassing, but it was. And I asked if anybody else has had something happen to them that should have been not that embarrassing, but actually was, if that makes any sense. So I got a ton of comments on it, and I wanted to actually read them to you because I thought that they were super entertaining. And today's episode is going to be a little bit more, I don't want to use the term silly, but funny and chill, because we've had a little bit deeper episodes, so I want to break them up with some stories. But yeah, that's pretty much it. There's quite a few comments to get through, so I'm just going to go ahead and jump on in. So the example that I used that made me think of this whole concept was that I was in class and I took a sip of water and it went down my trachea instead of the esophagus, right? So it went down the wrong hole and it led to me coughing and sounding like death. And I tried, you try like not to cough, you know, but you cough anyway, and it just makes it worse. So that situation has always been super embarrassing for me, but it really shouldn't be, because it's like coughing and everybody does it. So that was the horrifying, traumatic situation that made me think of this. So has that ever happened to you? Let me know. I feel like it happens to everybody, but also could not be. It really stressed me out. And with COVID, everyone has to wear masks and things like that. And every time you hear somebody cough, everyone freaks out and like stares at them because COVID. So I feel like that made it even worse. But let's jump on into everybody else's submissions. Someone said showing my Costco card, which if you don't know what Costco is, it's like a wholesale grocery store that you have to have a membership to shop at. So it's like Sam's Club, Costco. I think there's a couple others, but those are the ones I'm familiar with. So she said showing my Costco card to the worker when I enter the store, which I had a Sam's Club card growing up, or my mom did, and I always thought it was fun to like show the card, but I also get it. It kind of is like awkward. A bunch of people agreed with her. Someone said they never know which side to show, so interesting. Huh. And someone else said literally wearing a Bandaid. I don't know why. Okay, facts. Like, as a horse rider and someone who's just really active, I have a like 100-pound dog, so we'll just be rough playing and I'll get like bruises. So I just get bruises from life. I'm really clumsy, outdoors all the time, riding horses, playing with my animals, covered in bruises, and I'm really, really pale, so they're pretty obvious. But I always get so embarrassed if I have a bruise. Why? Literally why? I probably have like 3 to 5 bruises any given day, and I get so embarrassed of them. And then I'm always worried that someone's gonna think like something way more traumatic happened than what actually happened. Like, I'm good, my dog just tackled me. It's fine, everything's fine. But wearing a Band-Aid, I agree with that it's weirdly, and like the bigger the Band-Aid, the more stressful it is. Like, I don't know. Someone else said having marks on my face from sunglasses. I wear glasses. I used to wear contacts back when I was like, had my life together, but I usually wear glasses, so I always have glasses on, so I can't really relate. But I think that this was something that bothered me back when I did wear contacts. Also, side note, if you had like a chemistry class where you had to wear goggles, yeah, jail. So embarrassing. I don't know what it was. Like, we all wear goggles, but if you took your goggles off and you had like marks on your face from it, it was like the most embarrassing thing. And people would comment on it and be like, oh my gosh, you have marks from your goggles. But it's like, we all did. Like, why was that embarrassing? High school was a wild time, or middle school. Yeah, we did it in middle school too. Like, that was a wild time. We literally made no sense. Like, we're making fun of each other for something that we all have. I don't know. And wearing makeup just makes it 100 times worse for everything. Because the thing is, if you wear makeup and then it rubs it off, you can't just put it back on. Like, it doesn't go away. Like, if your face is natural and it goes off, like, the red spots go away. But if you have makeup on, no, you're done for the day. Down for the count. Gotta go home. Start over. Try again. Someone said carrying around a lunchbox, so random and for what? I do agree. This is really embarrassing now. Like, in high school, you just like took it to your locker. But now that I'm like graduated, even in college, carrying a lunchbox was just like, I don't know, people almost question, like, does she actually have lunch in it, or is she just like carrying something else around? Like, it was really weird. Like, something about lunchboxes after you turn like 18, it's just like a no-go, and for no reason. Like, oh, so they want to save money and eat? Why do we get so weird about that? So weird. I don't know what it is. I will not carry a lunchbox. If I can fit it in my bag, cool. If not, I'll starve, and I don't know why. Why am I like that? I'm just pressures of society. Standing for too long in front of any grocery store shelf. Like, I'm sure everyone's judging me how long I'm debating on which chips to get. I agree, but only if someone is in the same aisle. If no one else is in the aisle, I will take my time. I will read the ingredients on every single back of the bag. Sorry guys, I talk way too fast, so sometimes my mouth doesn't keep up with my brain, and then I stutter or like things like that. But yeah, no, if someone's in the same aisle as me, I get so embarrassed, and I think it's because I have a cart usually, so I'm like, or they have a cart and it's like, like, we don't want to step on each other's toes, but it's so embarrassing. But yeah, if no one's around, I will take my time. I will read the ingredients. I'll look up on my phone the reviews. Like, not a care in the world. But I do agree, if someone else is in the aisle, yeah, no. Guys, also, I use Target shopping, where like I do drive up, so you get the deals because they have so many deals on their app, so you get a lot of stuff for way cheaper than if you were to go in person. And you also don't have to go in, so you save money. Sometimes I do go in if I'm feeling down, because like, you know, you're gonna find something that you love that you definitely don't need, but it's just gonna make your entire year, right? Yeah. So sometimes I do that, but if I'm just regular grocery shopping, I'll just do Target drive up, because you save money and you don't go in and have the distractions of looking at literally everything. Someone said running with a backpack on, my nightmare. I agree, back in high school I was that way, but once you get to college and you have to like book it across campus, you have 15 minutes to do a 30-minute sprint, then all is gone. I do agree, I get insecure about it, but I get more embarrassed about like my backpack riding up my shorts or my skirt, because like in the summer it gets really hot here. So when I was in college, I would have to, I don't like saying that, like when I was in college, like I graduated 2 months ago, but when I would have to like run from one side of campus to the other, or get to class like super fast, or even just stand outside, I could tell that my backpack was like riding my shorts up or my skirt. And even if it wasn't, I was really worried that it would. So I constantly would get embarrassed about that for absolutely no reason. Like, not a reason. I was just like very insecure about that, and I don't know why. But running with your backpack, as long as it's tight enough that it doesn't really jiggle, you're good. My backpack don't jiggle, it folds. But yeah, if there's like really heavy stuff inside of it and it makes noise, I don't like that. Ooh, we have a little story. I was at work one time when a news anchor lady came in the store and was talking to us about wanting to interview the owner, who at the time wasn't at the store yet. So we were just chatting it up with this lovely woman when I decided to take a sip of my water and I choked. Water went flying everywhere. No one and nothing was safe. I was coughing and couldn't stop. I was so embarrassed. So yes, choking is the worst. Okay, so thank you for validating my thoughts that choking on water is the absolute worst thing in the world. Choking on food, horrible. Have you ever been out to dinner with your friends and you're just kicking it, having a great conversation, then you start choking and everyone just kind of pretends it's not happening? Because yeah, story of my life, all the time. All the time. Like, absolutely not. Oh, another story, or a longer one. Someone said, blowing my nose. The thought of someone hearing me blow my nose is enough embarrassment to make me want to die. I've been this way since 1st grade. I would excuse myself to go to the bathroom just to blow my nose. If the bathroom wasn't empty, I'd wait for the other girls to leave before blowing my nose. To this day, I hate it and even go as far as making my own husband plug his ears if I have to blow my nose. I agree. I will not blow my nose in front of anyone. I have to be in a bathroom and it has to be like closed. I need complete privacy. I will say though, I try to go as long as possible without blowing my nose, because you know how when you're sick and your nose turns like red, you get like the red, almost like freaking rug burn on your nose from blowing it. Absolutely hate it. It drives me insane. And then it gets dry and I hate it. I hate it. No. So I will like literally do everything, like take Mucinex immediately the second that I start to feel like I could get a runny nose. I also blow my nose in the shower, which it's not gross, everyone does it, and that way I don't have to worry about the rug burns, and then hopefully my nose won't be as rough because like I did it in the shower, so, and I tried to get like everything out so I wouldn't have to blow it throughout the day. I don't know, that's the theory behind it, but I agree, horrifying experience. I don't know if you're a person who isn't like worried about that and I guess you're normal, like let me know how do you do it, because I simply cannot. A loose strand of hair stuck to my shirt. Not sure why, but I hate the idea of people seeing this. Girl. So I have dogs, so it's never a loose strand. It's 5,000 strands of hair constantly. But I do agree, why do people get so like have you ever been doing something and then someone will just walk up to you and pull a strand of hair off your shirt and be like, this was on your shirt? Like, why does it matter? Most of us have hair or are around people that have hair every single day. Like, why do we get so bothered by this? Like, same with your tag sticking out. Why does that really matter? I mean, yeah, I can kind of see it, but at the end of the day, is that really what we're gonna stress about? I don't know. Just the whole concept, weird to me. This one says, having a pet do anything minorly embarrassing. Like, we have a dog that burps just the way she is. Whenever someone else hears it, I get so embarrassed. So true. Like, my dogs have the biggest personalities, and we've stopped going to like the dog park because they're just like, they're not bad, like they don't like get in fights or anything, like they're pretty normal. They do pull on the leash a little bit, but like, say that I tell them to come to leave at the dog park and they don't, because you know they're having the time of their life with they're kicking it with the homies, and I'm like, yo, come here, and then they don't. I get so embarrassed. Like, why do we get embarrassed? Like, our dogs or our pets in general have their own lives. Like, they're independent. they can choose to listen to us. It's like, I don't have children, but I imagine it's similar to like having a child and them not listening. Like, you get embarrassed and then they're just like, they feed off of that. I don't know. I'm going on a tangent. I'm literally 23 years old, do not have a child. But I agree. It's the worst. You just feel like betrayed by your animal. Like, how could they do that to you? Same. Oh, reaching for the tube at the bank. That, yes, I don't drive through the bank. I either go to the ATM or I go inside, because same. But also, only if someone's watching. Like, if no one's watching, again, I'm fine. I'll mind my own business. But like, if people are like behind me in line and I'm like getting the tube and filling it up, I always feel like I have to go as fast as possible because I don't want to, like, what's the opposite of accommodate? I can't remember. The opposite of accommodate, whatever word that is. I don't want to do that to other people. And you know, if they're in a hurry and I'm in front of them at the bank, I'm like, oh, I must go as fast as possible, which is like a really toxic form of people pleasing. I'm really working on that and just learning to become my own person and say no sometimes and not do everything that everybody else wants to make everybody else happy. We're getting there. It's a process. But that's an example of that. Like, I try and go as fast as possible for anything, like getting money out the bank, self-checkout, literally anything, getting a prescription. Like, if there's a line, I go as fast as possible because I just don't want to, I can't freaking think of the word. I don't want anybody else to feel like they are waiting on me, or that I'm annoying, or that I'm like wasting their time, which again, very toxic. Little side tangent there. Someone said eating a crunchy snack in front of other people. I have trauma with this. So my sister, she's the older sister, which you all know she's already bossy if she's the oldest. No offense to you older sisters, you know what's up. But she cannot handle other people chewing. Like, she gets so mad. She will literally like leave Thanksgiving dinner because other people were chewing too loud. So she really just traumatized me, because if I chewed even a little bit loud, she would like scream at me. As a child, we're 16 months apart, so it's like we were very close in age, and some things you can't help it. Like imagine little freaking 6-year-old me trying to chew my Lay's chips as quietly as possible. Like it's not possible. So I have trauma with this. Like anyone that I'm around, literally a brand, like someone I just met, like new friend, this is our first time eating out to dinner, I'll be like, am I chewing too loud? Or like I'll lean back so that I know they can't hear me, or there has to be some music going on, like something loud. So I agree, this is embarrassing, and for us people who have siblings like that, it's slightly traumatic. Someone said you're drinking out of a cup and your lip separates from the liquid and makes a slurping noise. Yes, I had to like picture it. It took me a minute. I was like loading. But yes, or also if you're drinking, and maybe I'm the only one who's literally a full adult and does this, but if you're drinking something and it doesn't, like some of it like doesn't go in your mouth and it goes like on your shirt or something, like not a lot, just like a drop. That happens to me way more than it should as a full-grown adult, and it's so embarrassing, especially with coffee. This is mainly because when I get coffee, I'm in the car, so it'll like bounce around when I'm trying to drink it, or Josh will be driving, which is even scarier, and it'll just, you know, I'll be trying to drink the coffee, we're like going over speed bumps, freaking Kentucky, the hilliest state in the world, and it just like gets on my shirt. Immediately not. And the amount of times I literally went to an interview after I spilled an entire vanilla sweet cream cold brew from Starbucks down my white shirt, and I just walked in and was like, this is me, I'm so sorry, I promise. I literally said, I promise you I have a really cute outfit on and there was not coffee on my shirt when I left the house. And she was really nice about it. She was like, yeah, it's okay, like I have kids. But I didn't get the job, so was it the coffee? We'll never know. That's just something we'll never know. Someone said farting, we all do it. This is true. Okay, this is the one question I do have. Why do people get like insecure or like embarrassed about that if they're with their partner, like their significant other? Like Josh and I don't care if it comes to that stuff, and I feel like when you're that comfortable, that's when you know you're in a good relationship. But like, especially like in high school, when you're first dating or you've been dating for a couple months, like when you're comfortable around each other and that still embarrasses you, like yeah, we all do it. I agree, like fair point. It is still embarrassing. Will I still be embarrassed if I ever do that in public and it makes a noise? Yes. Will I probably still blame it on my brother or Josh? Josh takes the fall for that quite a bit. Yeah, 100%, because it's embarrassing and I don't know why, but I want to stop, I just can't. Okay, crossing the street or waiting at a light for it to tell you to cross the street, or just walking on a busy road. This is something that I did not understand, because I like didn't take the bus. I lived on like a farm, so I drove to like class. Like I was never really crossing the street as a child or like in high school. But then I went to college in a city and lived downtown, and this is true. Like you feel like all eyes are on you, but when I'm actually driving, I never look at someone who's crossing the street. Like obviously I look to make sure that they're not crossing and I'm not gonna hit them, but I don't sit there and stare at them and be like, huh, what are they up to? But when you're crossing the street, I don't know if it's you, like you guys or just me, but I literally think that all eyes are on me. This is my time to shine. This is a full-blown production, and everything I do, I'm like, you know, putting my hair behind my ear, like making sure that my shorts are pulled down with my backpack, because what if someone sees me and I don't look incredible? Like I don't look like I just won America's Next Top Model. Oh, it's gonna be like, would it really be embarrassing for someone to see you normal? I don't get it. Why do we get embarrassed about that? I don't know if you guys get embarrassed for a different reason, but that's why I get embarrassed. Oh, true. This one says, for so long I was asking someone where the bathroom is or just telling someone I had to go. Facts. I wait until I literally cannot hold it any longer to ask. Or if you're like me, I'm a creature of habit. I'm a Taurus. Hi, nice to meet you. I hate change. So I go to the same places where I already know where the bathroom is, and then I don't have to ask. So for my introverts, there you go. But yeah, I will not ask unless I absolutely have to. And I never, like, I'll tell Josh I have to go to the bathroom, but say we're at like one of his friend's house that I don't know that well, I won't like, say, hey, where's the bathroom? I'll literally go to Josh and be like, hey, do you know where the bathroom is? And he's like, Grace, why can't you just ask so-and-so? Like, I don't know, because I don't know. This is just bringing out all of my flaws. Like, clearly I probably need to go to therapy for some underlying trauma for all of this, but it's okay. And I'm definitely a people pleaser. Like, this is just telling me how much of a people pleaser I am. Someone said, in high school, my voice would just stop working in the middle of speaking. Literally has happened to me like 3 times in this podcast. So like, I would raise my hand, my voice would crack, then stop entirely, and then I'd have to whisper my comment or question. Literally so embarrassing, and hasn't happened since. This sounds like a public speaking like fear, like, and that's why it just hasn't happened since. Or like you weren't comfortable around your peers or something, and it's like psychological. But I don't know. I was like, I used to be like embarrassed about that, like in classes and stuff. But my voice cracks, I stutter because like I mentioned, I talk so fast. So I'm just used to it at this point. It's just a part of my life. I think I get, what is it that I say like 100 times a day? My voice is just not working today. Like, I'll literally be talking about something that won't work, and I'll be like, oh, guess my voice is just not working today. And I probably say it 100 times a day. I'm not even kidding. Someone also said having to say here, like on that same thread, someone said having to say here in first period attendance, and their voice would always crack. Yes, my voice would always crack, but I think it's because that was literally the first time I'd really talked to someone, because I was always there at like, I think school started at 9. I was there at like 8:57, had to run up to my locker, get there. So my voice would either crack because I hadn't talked to anybody that day and it was just like my first time talking, or I had like screamed the lyrics to One Direction the whole way to school and I was just like jamming, so my voice was like gone by 9 a.m. There was no in between. When my baby audibly toots or poops and other people are around, haha, totally not my fault, so why am I embarrassed? This goes along with the pet one. Like I was saying, like when your kid does something and you just can't control it. Like, I want to hear, if anyone has children, I want to hear stories of things that your kids have done that were just way out of pocket, that you had no control over, but you were embarrassed. Like, I'm trying to think of something that me or my sister or my brother did that was just totally out of pocket. The only thing that's coming to mind is we went over to our neighbor's house when they were home, and this was me and my sister and my cousin, and my sister and I were like 7 and 8, and we literally just started playing with their cats, and my mom got so embarrassed. Like, she was so mad, and that's the only thing I can think of. We definitely done way worse things, especially my brother. He's done some way out of pocket things, and he still does, but that's the one thing that comes to mind. My mom was like so mad about that. I guess she doesn't, I guess she's not a fan of us just trespassing into other people's barns and yards and just walking around their house with them in the house. But I don't know why that would bother her. Just like so weird. Using cash or coins when buying anything feels so embarrassing for some reason, and it doesn't help when the cashier has already entered card and they have to redo the transaction for cash. Okay, this is the thing. If they hit the card before they see that you're paying with cash, that's not your fault. That is on them. But if you say card and then you're like, wait, I have enough cash, that is on you. I do agree it's embarrassing though. Because it's not like you can prepare. Like, I have anxiety, we've talked about this, so I try to prepare for literally everything. So I will, like, if I could, I would have the exact amount ready, but I am not the type of person to do my tax and count up how much everything is ahead of time. So then you're like on the spot having to do the cash and coins, and that's just way too much pressure for me, and that's why I use a card and I never have cash on me, because of my irrational fear of this moment right here happening. And I don't know, do people, I get why people still use cash. There's still things, like there's certain things I have to buy that I still use cash for, but like in general, why don't we all just agree to use our cards? Like, cash is kind of unsanitary. We had the whole cash overflow or shortage or whatever it was during COVID in America because no one was using it. Like, I think we should just all agree to move forward as a nation, except for those really small things that you need it for. Like, if you go to the farmer's market, or like for me, I usually pay my horse's board with cash. Like, things like that where people just don't have a credit card scanner thing to like use card, but like also Venmo. Like, there's ways around it, but like I understand those situations where you would need cash, but if you're just like going to Walmart, I don't know, can we just like move forward? But people, there are those types of people who don't trust banks, so like also this is a hard subject. I don't know. When I can't get the automatic faucet to work in a public bathroom, absolutely mortifying. This, I don't know why, but I always think of my church when I hear this, because it has the automatic ones. And I went to a mega church, okay? At one point we were 4th in the nation. I think we're 5th now for the biggest church in the country. Huge. Elevators, escalators. The main place where they do the sermon, I can't remember what it's called, is the auditorium is an actual arena. Like, they hold concerts there sometimes. Usually Christian concerts, but they do hold concerts there. Like, absolutely massive. And I love it. I love it. They're so welcoming. They're so open to like all different kinds of people, but it is large. So when you go to the bathroom, huge bathroom, lots of women in there at any given point. And mortifying, absolutely mortifying, because you can never get the automatic things to work. Never. And I'm always like, oh no, like Karen is gonna be very disappointed in me that I could not do this. And I think that goes back to my people-pleasing tendencies, but I agree. The speed of my windshield wipers when it's raining, I am definitely very on top of it. Like, if it slows down, if the rain slows down, immediately wipers are slower. Speeds back up, immediately up. Doesn't matter if it's only for 30 seconds. I am constantly adjusting because I agree, and no one can even, like, there is not a single time in my, how long have I been driving? In my, 7 years. It's been 7 years. There's not one time in my 7 years of driving that I have ever looked over at another car's windshield wipers. Like, that is just so uncomfortable. Like, how do you even do that? Like, I mean, and if another car's driving by and it's raining, I'm usually petrified that I'm gonna do something stupid and wreck my car. So I am so focused on the road because, again, I'm petrified and I'm not the best driver. So I'm not thinking about, their windshield wipers are going a little too fast, because I'm so focused on mine. Like, I'm so focused on mine and like so worried that they're gonna be at the wrong speed and it's gonna be embarrassing because they're gonna see my car and immediately know, oh, that's Grace. That is Grace, and her windshield wipers are a little too strong. Like, literally, it's to the point that if Josh is driving, I will tell him, like, turn your windshield wipers down. Like, and for what? Also, if you hear something in the background, it's my bunny. So don't worry about it. But yeah, there's absolutely no reason. Not a single one. I agree. As a kid, blowing my nose in class or sharpening my pencil was a death sentence. Now I'm just like, whatever, I don't even know these people, and once I graduate, I'll never see them again, so I literally couldn't care less. That's true. Like, walking to the front of the classroom in high school, or especially middle school, like, especially if you I went to a really small school, so I don't know how big schools are, but like, the chairs were really close together, kind of unconventional, so you probably had to push past somebody at some point or go behind somebody to get out, and having to ask someone like, hey, can you move your chair so I can move, up until like my senior year was not, it was not okay with me. The idea of inconveniencing someone just absolutely mortified me. And then by the time I got to senior year, we had 15-minute classes, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna go wander around the school with so-and-so for 30 minutes, or yeah, I'm gonna go down to the gym because so-and-so has PE, so I'm gonna go hang out with them for 30 minutes. Like, by the time you hit senior year, I just like did not care. I would leave, I would come back. It was a free-for-all. It was the freaking wild. I was just basically in the grasslands of Kenya at that point. Does Kenya have grasslands? We're gonna roll with that. Like, the self-growth from junior to senior year. But I agree, like, starting out, it was just not the move. Just getting up or like writing on the board in front of everybody, you had to like practice your penmanship for the moment that your high school teacher asked you to write out a word in Spanish on the board. Like, literally so wild. Using the bathroom on an airplane, I refuse because I'm a bit of a germaphobe and I simply can't. I will absolutely, like, I have a very irrational fear. I don't know what I think is gonna happen, but I cannot use the bathroom on an airplane. I feel like this is just me sounding like I'm a very difficult person, like, after like listening to this, because I'm like, no, I can't do that. I won't do that. I will do extreme lengths not to do this. But like, also being the people pleaser, got an accent there, kind of like evens things out, maybe, question mark, I don't know. But yeah, I literally won't. I do agree though, it's that same concept of having to like push past someone. And if you're like, even if you're in the middle and I'm just like worried about the cart and the flight attendant, like, what if they go past me. I don't know. I don't want to inconvenience everybody. Just put my AirPods in, read my book. Let me know when we land. I do love flying though. I absolutely love flying and like traveling. Buying toilet paper. Toilet paper doesn't bother me. Someone else said tampons and a pregnancy test bothers them. And condoms. Tampons don't bother me anymore. I have bought a few pregnancy tests in my day. That does bother me. Condoms, depends on the day if that bothers me. But y'all, have y'all ever bought a Plan B? That one gets me. Because it's, at the places I've been to, you have to ask them to get it for you. Like, it's under lock and key. Probably because it's literally $50 for one, so yikes. But, okay, I heard my bunny and I was like, what is he doing? Like, you have to have them unlock it and all that, and it's literally just, I don't know, mortifying. Someone said I bought this huge A box of pads the other day, and the girl who checked me out literally made a handle out of tape for it instead of discreetly putting it in a bag. I had to parade the 5 miles out to my car in the parking lot, lugging around this huge box of pads with a handle. This girl knew what she was doing. She knew what she was doing. Oh, it was at a Target too. Like, she was setting you up. That's so bad. Like, why couldn't she just put it in a bag? Like, she genuinely was just like, let me freaking make a handle. And oh no, when you're in the movie theater and you're the only one eating popcorn, this goes back to my irrational fear with my sister. Cannot do it. Well, I think I've gotten better about it. If the movie's loud, I'm good. But I also don't like to sit near anybody else in the movie theater. Like, I like it to just be me and my crew, whoever I'm with, you know, kick it with the homies, away from everybody else. But it doesn't bother me that much. If I go to the movies with my sister, now that's another story. But we're just not even gonna think of that horror. Walking out of a store without buying something, it feels so sus. Oh my gosh, you guys, this goes back to like something. Okay, so the other day, I have a lot of tattoos, and all of them were on display the other day because I was wearing like a tank top, and most of them are on my arm. So the other day I was at Target. How many times can I say the other day? And I also had on like an outfit that had like skeletons on it. So I don't know, I was literally in my pajamas. I'm a Vero. I don't know if people are like really biased. I'm in Kentucky, so sometimes people can be really like about that. And I also have my nose pierced, so like, you know, we're at least up to like 15 cents now. But I was in the self-checkout and I was buying a vacuum, so kind of expensive. And then I also bought a bunch of mason jars because I've been meal prepping my bunnies late night snacks because I make them vegetables every night. So I've been meal prepping them in the mason jars, and then I can just give it to them at night instead of having to cut it up at like 11 o'clock at night. But I took everything out, put it in bags, but then I left those two things in the cart and I was scanning them. And this lady tried to accuse me, the lady who works at Target was trying to accuse me of stealing the mason jars when I had already scanned them. She was like, oh, you didn't scan these, you didn't scan these. And I was like, no, I didn't. She was like, no, you didn't. Like, literally look on the screen. It said it on the screen. And then she just like held her ground, like, no, you're trying to steal. And I was like, it's on the screen. But she, like, at that point, she was in too deep. You know when you're so stubborn that you know you're wrong but you can't admit you're right? That me literally. But at this point, this was not my fault. She was doing that. So tragic. And I appreciate how serious she is about her job, but have you ever noticed how serious people in the self-checkout, like the workers in the self-checkout, they are so serious about their job. So serious. Which, like, I respect it. I respect the hustle. But when you're accusing people of stealing things they didn't steal and it's very clear they didn't, like, maybe we should take a step back and, like, analyze. I don't know. Wild. It was wild. Target is one of my favorite places, so for that to happen there, it hurt a little. I had to get in the car and, you know, text Josh about it and calm down. When you stop at a four-way stop at the exact same time as another car, I will do my best to not roll up so that our window, like, you know how you can see into someone else's window if you pull up next to them? I don't have tinted windows at all. You can see literally everything. So I will purposely not pull up so that they can see me. If someone else pulls up to me, that's on them. I will not look. But I think this also goes down to like being catcalled and men like pulling up to you and like trying to get you to roll your window down to talk to you, because that happens all the time and it's just really annoying. So I don't know if it's more embarrassing or if it's more just self-preservation by like not meeting someone else's window. But I do agree, it's embarrassing. Like, I feel like someone's watching me and I go back to that, oh my gosh, it's production, like Beyonce, have to be perfect type thing, if I am in that situation. Gulping loudly in a quiet classroom is embarrassing for no reason. Okay, does anybody else ever, this is kind of gross, but does anybody else just like, you'll just be chilling and then you just get like a large like lump of saliva in your throat for no reason, like in the classroom, and then you have to swallow it and everyone can hear you? I do this, but anytime anything like that happened, I cover it up by coughing, but it's like obvious that I'm not really coughing, so it probably makes it worse. I don't know, why am I like this is the root of, that's the root of the cause here. Why am I like this? But yeah, I agree. Trying to make a left turn on a busy street and there's a car or a line of cars behind you, I feel like they're silently judging me. I'll make as many right turns as I need to get where I'm going if there's not stoplight, just to avoid this scenario. True. And what I'm assuming she means is like there's cars coming towards you and you're trying to turn, so you have to wait for them to like stop coming towards you so that there's a break in traffic so that you can turn across their lanes. I hope that made sense. But I agree. I go to Josh's work a lot, I've mentioned that, and he typically, like, there's typically a ton of traffic pulling into his work. His work is on the left side of the road and you have to cross like 2 or 3 lanes of traffic, and it's always busy. And it's like, do I go, do I not? And then I get like the extra insecurity if like one of his coworkers is behind me, like, oh my gosh, do they think I'm dumb? Are they gonna tell Josh that I'm dumb? He's just gonna be like, yeah, she is, I know. But like, I really think about it. I think about it way too much, because it's like, back to that, I don't want to inconvenience anybody ever. Driving in the rain and having my windshield wipers on fast for everyone else, it makes me look like a drama queen. Okay, I like the drama queen comment. I already talked about this, but the drama queen comment, facts. Am I the only one who has like an embarrassing half laugh? I want to die, but it just comes out. I just did it. I did it on the podcast, and maybe I'll leave it in, but it's really embarrassing. And it's like, it's not a squeal, but it's a squeal, but it's not a laugh, but it's a laugh. Nope, not a fan. Do not like it. My posture when I'm waiting for the doctor to come in and I'm stuck in the gown. Like, are they judging my posture? But if I sit up the whole time, I'm gonna for sure get a cramp. Okay, on this same note, I have to go to the cardiologist because I have a heart problem. And you have to wear a gown, but it opens in the front instead of the back, and it doesn't tie, like it's just open in the front. And I hate it because now that I am an adult, you can't wear a bra, and so my boobs are just flopping around. And so I'm like, if you are watching this on YouTube or Spotify, you just saw me like dance my boobs. We're not even gonna talk about it. But it's like, yes, and it's like a male doctor, and I'm like, this dude, he's watching my titties. Like they're just bouncing around like freaking, I don't know, it bothers me. That's kind of off topic, but like kind of the same, because like I always think about my posture, like if I sit a certain way, is my titty just gonna pop out? And then it's like, oh, he just walks in, and like I have pierced titties, so you know, another sin. But like, I'm like, oh, is he gonna judge me for that? Like, think I'm like, you know, like my doctor has like, literally just me overthinking. Like, my doctor does not care. Like, obviously no doctor cares about that. They're a doctor for a reason, but still. Scanning my rewards or giving for code. I can't talk. Scanning my rewards or giving a code for rewards at a restaurant. I feel like everyone's gonna know I'm cheap, so sometimes I just enter all the information into their stupid website from the receipt, but who actually cares? I'll do this through drive. I don't get embarrassed through drive-through. People 9 times out of 10 get very annoyed if you say it with a coupon, but I still don't care. I'll do it through drive-through, but in person, I won't. Like, I don't even try to look for coupons. If they point it out, like at BJ's, they have a lot of like coupons, like every day they have a different coupon going on. So if they bring it up to me and they're like, hey, you get a free Pizookie today if you do this, then I'll do it. But I like don't even look at restaurants. I'm probably wasting so much money, but I don't. Looking in the mirror at the bathroom sink when someone is next to you at the sink. Making eye contact with yourself in the mirror, period, is a very intense experience. And yeah, looking in the mirror with someone next to you, you can do it, but it's one of those things where you can't take too long. Like, you can look and be like, oh wow, fix my hair, oh, gotta go. But like, if you stand there and like fix your hair and like, you know, that's when it gets embarrassing. And I know you guys do this, I'm not the only one who does this. When you're on your period and you come out of the bathroom stall and you look at your butt in the mirror, yeah, I know you do it. I know you're checking to make sure you can't see anything, but like, why is that embarrassing? We're in a woman's bathroom. all of us probably have a period or have dealt with someone who has a period. Like, we all are in the same boat here. You could probably ask some random person, hey, spot check me, and they'd be like, I got you, girl. But it's still so embarrassing. Coming out of a dressing room when you didn't like any of the items and having to give them all back to the employee. Nope, I'd rather sneak away and try to put them away myself. Haha. I always put them away myself. Always. And unless I'm at like a thrift store or like consignment where like it has to go in a certain place, I always do, because I worked in retail for 3 years and it was the most annoying thing to put everything back, because you had to know where everything went in the first place and they were constantly changing things up, so it was always somewhere new. It wasn't really that bad, honestly, now that I look back at it, but I know they appreciate it that I put it back, and it, you know, it saves me from that embarrassing situation. So yes, not a vibe. Having to fit into a tricky parking spot, parallel parking with people watching you. I am the worst driver. I probably will start turning into a parking spot and then someone's watching me and I get nervous and then I pull out and go to a different parking spot. Because I'm so bad about that. Like, no, I can parallel park pretty well. I think. I haven't done it in a while, but going to college taught me how, kind of. I've gotten better at it. If I have to, I will. But that's like, no, I absolutely have to. Like, if I have to. Swallowing during a massage or facial, why does it feel so loud? Or anything like that. Like massage, facial, getting your nails done, anything where it's like quiet and serene, you're in a spa. It does feel very loud. Very similar to the classroom. Wearing a shirt you bought in the store you bought it in. I immediately think, oh my gosh, they are gonna think I'm stealing. Or it's like, do they think I'm like, so if it has the logo, like there's a vintage store I really like, but like if I wear the logo, I'm like, do they think that I'm like a stan? Like, do they think it's weird? Like I'm an over, like I'm fangirling too hard because I'm wearing this in their store? Which sounds really dumb now that I think about it, and they're probably just like, wow, thank you for your support. But I don't know, the way that my brain works is I'm like, wow, they think I'm trying too hard. But I do agree, wearing like something you bought into the store, like especially Target, I do that a lot in Target. I'm like, they immediately think I'm stealing. Especially after the experience I had the other day. Yeah. Crossing the crosswalk at Walmart. Yeah, I mean, it depends. It depends on the traffic. It depends on the vibe, you know? It's one of those. It could be embarrassing or could not. Gathering change from the change machine at a cash register and having the next person wait for you to put your change away and get the frick out of the way. Okay, true. This is like going back to like waiting for people. Like, yeah, I move out of the way, but then like if I have a bunch of groceries, I have to get them still. So it's just a lose-lose situation for everybody. Back to my previous statement that we should just all agree to not use cash anymore. Wearing a helmet. As a horse rider, I have to wear a helmet. I technically don't now, but they like scared me straight in like pony club and stuff that like if I don't wear a helmet, I will immediately get bucked off and die. So it's not as embarrassing as it used to be. Embarrassing like if I was around a bunch of people who weren't wearing helmets and I was, but now it's just like, it's whatever. Like, I have a horse that's a girl, and girls are known to be very mean and moody. If you've ever heard of the chestnut mare, that is Satan reincarnated. So it doesn't bother me that much, but I mean, most people are probably talking in the context of like a bike or like a skateboard. And like as a child, yeah, that really embarrassed me, but like not anymore. But like I also can't relate because I don't do any of those. I skateboard, but I don't wear a helmet, so oops. I don't know. When a car is letting you cross but you're not sure, so you start to go, then they start to go, then you wave at them, and then they wave at you, and you finally end up going and do the half run across the street. Embarrassing. I do this all the time because I try to always let people go. Like if like there's time, like if it's like annoying and there's a bunch of people behind me, then I'll just go if I like have the right of way. But like if it's between me and them and they like don't know and I don't know, I usually just am the first person to be like, go. But then like they have, like when someone like is processing it and it takes them like a minute to like start going, then I start going. Yeah, the worst situation. Not 0 out of 10. Peeing in a public bathroom when people are in there, they can hear you pee. Peeing is not my problem. It's pooping that really bothers me. I will not do it unless I'm at the house, like my house, complete, like alone. And like if I go on vacation, just won't go the entire time, which I know is a common thing because so many influencers have talked about it, like, and like very common. But why is the society, are we like that? Yeah, we should all just agree that it's normal to do that, and just agree to like not hold it for like 8 days. That's really bad for you. Yeah, I don't know. Putting your car in park as you wait in a drive-through. Why do I feel so lazy? Why do I think people notice? I don't put it in park unless it's like we've been sitting there for hours, and it will probably be another hours. I'm so dramatic. We've been sitting there for a couple minutes and it doesn't look like we're going anywhere, then I will. But I don't get embarrassed about that. But also, like, you do you, you know? Breathing hard at the gym. Why am I trying to hold my breath on the treadmill? Yes. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, it bothers me. I get so insecure about that. And it's like I go to the gym like once every 3 months. Of course I'm gonna breathe hard 2 minutes into a walk. Like, but I still get so embarrassed about it. And it's like, I feel like if I go to the gym, I have to be like super fit and on my A game, and like they can't know that I don't go to the gym like 6 days a week. Like, no one can know that I'm not a gym rat. Is that a derogatory term? I'm sorry if it is. I just don't know what else to call it. That's what like people call it. So if there's a better term, let me know. But like, I don't know, I feel like I get so embarrassed when your windshield wipers are going faster than everyone else's. We already talked about that. Carrying an umbrella is so embarrassing for no reason. Yes, I agree. I try and get the smallest one as possible and then just hide it somewhere. But it's like, say you're walking across campus, is like my most recent experience, and I'm just like holding it, like, I don't know, it's like embarrassing if you have one, but it's also embarrassing if you don't have one, because if it starts raining and you don't have one, you are like screwed. So if everyone has one around you, you're like, oh shoot, like I should have brought one. But then if no one has one around you, you're embarrassed. So it's just like a lose-lose. That is why I just have a rain jacket and I just send it. But also the sound a rain jacket makes when you walk in and it's been raining and it's just like, it literally grates on my nerves. I hate that sound. I don't know if that's embarrassing or if that's just like cringy, but no. Typing while someone is watching you, ick. Oh my gosh, like if you're in a work meeting or a school meeting on Zoom when you're like with your friends and you're like, yeah, let me do this real quick. Like you're talking about something and you're like, yeah, let me look that up. And then they're waiting for you to look it up. I don't know why it's embarrassing, but it's one of those things where it's like, oh my gosh, I have to go as fast as possible. Ringing someone's doorbell, another one that's embarrassing. Like I text everyone I'm here. And then like, if I don't hear from them, I will call them. I can't tell you the last time I rang a doorbell. I don't know why it's embarrassing. It's just like you feel very vulnerable because like it's like on them to open the door, so you just like waiting out in the open. I don't know why, but I agree. Opening cards or presents in front of the people who gifted them to you. I feel pressured to have the perfect on the spot reaction to make them feel good about their gift to me. This is true. It's really embarrassing, but for no reason whatsoever. Like I don't know why it's embarrassing, but it is. You just feel like you have to respond a certain way. Being at the dentist in general, but specifically, where am I supposed to look? At the ceiling? Do I close my eyes? Or when you have to swallow but they're all up in your mouth and you feel like you can't? Yes, or they just start talking to you. I know that there's been like all kinds of SNL skits, like show skits about this because it's so weird, but no dentist ever learns. And I get that it's really awkward, so making conversation is just like the natural thing to do, but it makes it more awkward because I literally cannot respond. Also, I have a really, really small mouth. Like I get told all the time that my mouth is way too small. So I get told all the time by dentists. When I go to the dentist, let's get your head out of the gutter. So when they work on my mouth, there's like no room for anything, and I have to like literally open as wide as possible. It's very uncomfortable. So for them to be like, so what did you major in? It's just like the worst thing in the world. Like I'm already freaking choking while my mouth is open and I can't breathe all in one, and you're gonna ask me what my major is, Janice? No. Walking when there's loud music playing. I don't want to walk to the beat. Makes me feel like I'm on a runway. Yes, especially if you're like walking outside of bars and you're like not participating, you're not going out, you're just going to like a restaurant or something, and it's pretty obvious you're not participating. Like for me, I would be wearing like sweatpants, and you're just like, do I participate in the music? Like, do I dance? Do I just walk by? If you're by yourself, if I'm with people, I'm good. But if I'm by myself and I'm just like walking and there's music, I'm like, everyone's staring at me. Do I dance? Do I make this about me? Or do I just let them vibe? Will they think I'm weird for letting them vibe and not dancing? Like, I get it. We're on the same wavelength here. Slowing down when you see a cop feels like everyone is judging me for either going too fast in the first place or having so much anxiety that going 73 and a 70 will make me slow down and feel like I'm going to get a ticket. I agree, especially here because everyone drives so fast on our road. It's like a highway that just literally goes in a circle around Lexington, and people drive, the speed limit is 55 and everyone literally goes 80. But when you see a cop, people either don't slow down and they're just like, screw it, I'm taking my chances, or they like slam on their brakes. I try to like casually slow down, but like most people, there's no in between, and people are gonna get pissed no matter what. Because if you slow down and someone's going 80 behind you, they're gonna get pissed off because you're going too slow and they don't care if there's a cop. But if you're going, like, you slam on your brakes and there's someone behind you, yeah, no. And then if you're going, like, it's just like if you're the one going 50 and then someone tries to pass you, you're like, what the heck, there's a cop, we're all in this together, stop, like, slow down, wildcat. So yeah, I agree. There's no right win there. Getting up to pee in a graduate class instead of waiting for the break because you can't hold it. Sis, me and my ADHD would purposely get up in the middle of class. Was it embarrassing, and I feel like everyone was staring at me when they probably didn't? Yes. Did I feel like an absolute imbecile because I was getting up while going to the bath, like while we were in class? Yes. But I also could just simply not sit down for that long. Like I could, because our graduate classes were 2.5 hours with a 5-minute break halfway through. That was not enough. That was not enough time for my little ADHD brain. I needed to like run laps or something. Separating grocery carts from each other, especially when there are other people waiting. Yes, especially if they get stuck and then you have to go to a different one. And God forbid 2 of them get stuck in a row. Like, no, I don't like that, especially if I'm by myself, which I usually am when I go grocery shopping. It's just not, it's not it. All right, guys, those are all of the submissions that I have. I hope that you enjoyed this as much as I did. Go ahead and comment your favorite or something embarrassing that happened to you on my most recent Instagram picture. Thank you so much for listening. If you're still around, go ahead and follow, subscribe, depending on what platform you're on. If you leave a review and screenshot it and send it to me, I will shout you out in my next podcast episode. Don't forget to follow me on all platforms if you want to be a part of that girl community. And I love you so much. I will see you guys on Wednesday, and I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday. Okay, bye girlies.